Heaven's Gate, the tragic tale of an American cult. Heaven's Gate was an American cult founded in the 1970s, with its origins rooted in a vision of the world's end seen by its founders. This California-based group gained notoriety for its unique belief that extraterrestrial life, or aliens, were higher life forms responsible for eternal salvation. According to the founders, Earth was destined for a catastrophic doomsday event, but the cult members would be saved by aliens who would take them aboard their spacecraft, granting them immortality. For over 20 years, the cult maintained its existence, spreading its message and attracting followers. In 1997, the appearance of the Hale-Bopp comet convinced the members that the end of the world was imminent. What initially seemed like a rave party filled with drugs and alcohol tragically turned into a mass suicide site. 39 members of Heaven's Gate voluntarily ended their lives, believing that by shedding their physical forms, they would be transported to the alien spacecraft following the comet. Heaven's Gate is a chilling reminder of the power of belief and the lengths to which people will go in their search for meaning and salvation. The story of this cult is both fascinating and tragic, showcasing the vulnerabilities of the human psyche and the devastating consequences of extreme faith. Aum Shinrikyo, the infamous Doomsday Cult. Aum Shinrikyo, also known as the Doomsday Cult, blended various beliefs from Buddhism, Hinduism, and apocalyptic visions to attract followers into its unique belief system. The cult was founded by Shoko Asahara, a man with extraordinary charisma and storytelling skills. Asahara claimed he could absorb the world's sins and that only his followers would gain the spiritual power to be free of their sins. He also believed that a nuclear war would soon devastate the planet, sparing only his followers. In 1995, Aum Shinrikyo shocked the world and became known as an international terrorist organization when it carried out a deadly attack on the Tokyo subway. Cult members released sarin gas, killing 13 people and injuring many others. The reasons behind this horrific act were twofold: Asahara's desire to bring about the end of the world, believing it would lead to his group's ultimate victory, and his twisted interpretation of karma, thinking that killing non-believers would prevent the accumulation of bad karma. However, karma caught up with Aum Shinrikyo when Asahara and other key members were arrested. Despite continued attacks, Asahara and 6 other cult members were eventually executed in 2018. The story of Aum Shinrikyo is a stark reminder of the dangers posed by charismatic leaders who exploit religious and apocalyptic beliefs to manipulate followers. It's both terrifying to see how deeply people can be influenced by such ideologies, leading to devastating consequences. The People's Temple, a tragic tale of devotion and deceit. Jim Jones founded the People's Temple in 1954, creating a religion that combined Christianity with communism while emphasizing racial equality. His inclusive approach attracted a massive following, but the movement took a dark turn when media scrutiny uncovered questionable practices, including claims that the Bible was limiting Christians worldwide. The cult's response was aggressive, with members harassing the media for exposing their secrets. The government became increasingly concerned as Jones began hunting down defectors and supporting rebellious military groups. To escape unwanted attention, Jones relocated over 900 devoted followers to a settlement in Guyana, famously known as Jonestown. However, in 1978, U.S. Congressman Leo Ryan began investigating Jonestown following reports and allegations of abuse. Jones, feeling threatened, ordered the assassination of Ryan and the defectors who accompanied him. The night after the assassination, Jones forced his followers to drink a cyanide-laced concoction, leading to the deaths of over 900 people. Those who resisted were injected with lethal doses of cyanide. Jones himself was found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The story of the People's Temple is a chilling reminder of the dangers of blind devotion and the charismatic influence of a single leader. It's heartbreaking to think of the lives lost and the families torn apart by Jones's manipulative grip on his followers. The Solar Temple, a descent into darkness. Luc Jouret and Joseph Di Mambro founded the Order of the Solar Temple in 1984 in Switzerland, creating a religion that fused elements of New Age movements, Christianity, and UFO conspiracy theories. This unique belief system attracted followers intrigued by extraterrestrial religions. Jouret and Di Mambro preached that they were destined to reach a mythical planet in the Sirius star system, viewing death as a mere transition to transcend human existence. In the 1990s, Jouret and Di Mambro convinced their followers to partake in mass suicide rituals, claiming it was the path to their celestial destination. However, these rituals also served as a means to eliminate traitors, possible defectors, and those who believed in the group's ideals, but not in physical death. In 1994, two fires in Switzerland revealed the bodies of the founders along with many cult members. The horror didn't end there. Two more massacres were carried out by surviving members, pushing the death toll to 77. The mass suicides eventually ceased when authorities intervened, cracking down on the cult's activities and arresting the remaining leaders. The story of the Solar Temple is a harrowing example of how charismatic leaders can exploit spiritual beliefs to manipulate and control their followers. It's deeply disturbing to see how these individuals were driven to such extreme measures in the name of transcendence and salvation. The Manson family, a cult's descent into darkness. Charles Manson, a struggling musician, founded a notorious gang known as the Manson family. Rooted in the hippie culture of the era, the group's cult-like beliefs drew in young followers, primarily women, who were captivated by Manson's charismatic teachings. They lived unconventional lifestyles, frequently using psychoactive drugs such as LSD. Manson preached about an apocalyptic war he called Helter Skelter, envisioning brutal battles between black and white people. This doomsday scenario became the twisted rationale behind the horrific series of murders his followers carried out in 1969. The most prominent victim was actress Sharon Tate. Manson believed that her death would spark racial tensions and fulfill his prophecy of a race war. Though Manson never physically participated in the murders, his influence was undeniable. He was eventually convicted of murder and conspiracy for directing his followers to commit these heinous acts. Manson spent the rest of his life in prison, dying of cardiac arrest in 2017 at the age of 83, still serving time. The story of the Manson family is a chilling reminder of how charismatic figures can manipulate and control their followers, leading them down a path of unimaginable violence. It's both terrifying to see how Manson's twisted vision captivated his followers and drove them to commit such brutal acts. Commandments of God, a cult's deadly deception. The Commandments of God cult was founded in 1989 by Credonia Morinde and Joseph Kibweter. This cult preached the paramount importance of the Ten Commandments, attracting traditional believers with its strict adherence to these biblical laws. Members were so fearful of breaking a commandment that they avoided speaking, eating, or having sex. The cult's leaders prophesied that the world would end on December 31st, 1999, and demanded money and material possessions from their followers, promising salvation in return. When the apocalypse didn't occur, disillusioned members demanded their money back. Desperate to maintain control, the leaders set a new date for the end of the world, March 17th, 2000. On this day, the cult held a massive party at their compound, which tragically erupted in flames, killing everyone inside. Both founders mysteriously disappeared on the night of the massacre. The ensuing investigation by Ugandan authorities uncovered over 900 bodies, many of whom were either burned or poisoned across various properties owned by the cult. It was concluded that this was not a mass suicide, but a mass murder orchestrated to cover up the leader's failed apocalyptic prophecies. The Commandments of God cult is a harrowing example of how fear and manipulation can lead to catastrophic outcomes. The tragedy underscores the dangers of blind faith and the extreme measures that cult leaders will take to maintain their grip on followers. The Children of God, a dark journey from evangelism to exploitation. The Children of God was founded by David Berg in 1968, beginning as a Christian evangelical movement. However, Berg soon began interpreting the Bible in his own way, leading the group down a path of unconventional and controversial practices. The Children of God embraced communal living, free love, and an emphasis on sexual freedom. Members used sex as a tool to recruit new followers, a practice infamously known as flirty fishing. At its peak, the group boasted tens of thousands of members, mostly young people drawn to the group's sexual openness. However, as the cult's practices became more widely known, they faced severe criticism and allegations of abuse and exploitation. In an attempt to shed its negative image, the cult underwent a series of internal reforms and rebranded itself as the Family International, TFI. With this new identity, TFI instituted rules to protect its younger members from exploitation, and the practice of flirty fishing was discontinued. Despite these changes, the group continues to promote an openness to sexuality, claiming to have an intimate relationship with Jesus Christ. The story of the Children of God is a chilling reminder of how easily charismatic leaders can manipulate religious teachings to exploit their followers. It is deeply troubling to see how the quest for spiritual enlightenment led so many young people into a life of exploitation and abuse. The Ant Hill Kids, a cult's descent into madness. Roche Thériault established the Ant Hill Kids in 1977 in Canada. Claiming divine authority, he convinced followers to quit their jobs and live with him in a commune, promising a life free of sin. What started as a seemingly united and peaceful community quickly turned into a nightmare. Instead of delivering salvation, Thériault subjected his followers to brutal rituals, including amputations and genital mutilation, which he believed were the only ways to purify the body and soul. Thériault's authoritarian grip tightened as he controlled every aspect of his followers' lives, demanding absolute obedience. By the 1980s, authorities began investigating the cult after allegations of physical and psychological abuse, and even murder surfaced. These horrific claims led to Thériault's arrest and imprisonment in 1989. In 2011, justice took a grim turn when Thériault's cellmate, Matthew Girard, stabbed and killed him in prison, admitting his crime to the guards immediately afterward. Girard, already serving a life sentence, had nothing to lose. The story of the Ant Hill Kids is a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and blind devotion. It's horrifying to think about the suffering inflicted on innocent people under the guise of spiritual purification. This dark chapter in history underscores the need for vigilance and skepticism towards those who claim divine authority. NXIVM, a dark journey from empowerment to exploitation. In 1998, Keith Raniere founded NXIVM, presenting it as a self-help organization designed to empower its members. The group grew rapidly, amassing 18,000 followers in North America alone. However, in 2017, members began to reveal the abusive practices hidden within the organization. Beneath NXIVM's surface was a secret society where women, believing they were joining a supportive sisterhood, were subjected to severe abuse by Raniere. He wielded his power and influence to psychologically manipulate and control members, convincing them that he possessed supernatural abilities to heal. The women were coerced into recruiting new members to reduce their own abuse, creating a pyramid of exploitation. New recruits were forced to provide naked photos for blackmail, ensuring their silence about the group's sinister activities. When the truth finally emerged, over a dozen women courageously testified in court against Raniere's brutal practices. Despite his conviction on multiple charges, Raniere showed no remorse for his actions. The NXIVM story is a chilling reminder of how easily manipulative leaders can exploit the desire for personal growth and empowerment. It's terrifying to see how a seemingly benign self-help group can mask such dark and abusive practices. This story highlights the importance of vigilance and critical thinking when joining organizations that promise extraordinary benefits. Don't forget to click the notification bell so you never miss an update. Share this video with your friends and family to spread awareness about the dangers of manipulative organizations. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more gripping content.